YouTube, and welcome to my random thoughts on Thursdays, and this week I'm going to do part 1 of the 25 questions tag. Alright, so I thought I would tackle the 25 questions tag that I have seen floating around on YouTube. I know it's not a newer tag, but I haven't done it yet, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Question 1, do you have any pets? So if you've seen my vlogs before, you'll see that I have 2 dogs walking around. Lexi and Joey, they're both rescues that we got. We actually got Joey first, even though they're litter mates, they're brother and sister. We got Joey first, and we got Lexi a year later, because the family that rescued her didn't want her anymore. Sad story, but, you know, we rescued her. And then I also have 2 cats, 2 domestic short-hair kitty cats, and you may have seen them in some of my earlier vlogs, but I kind of lock them away when I film nowadays just because they tend to knock into the camera a lot. So I'm like, okay, you guys have to be away when I'm filming. And then of course I have that aquarium that you'll usually see in the background, but today I decided to film in a different location for a change. Okay, question 2. Name 3 things that are physically close to you. Well, right now, right behind the camera is my dog Lexi. She's sleeping behind the camera. Physically close to you right now, another couch over there and an end table. So, silly question, but okay. Number 3, what's the weather like right now? Well, today it's actually sunny, blue skies, and in the 40s. We're in Colorado here, east of the mountains, and haven't had a ton of snow yet. We had a little bit of snow for Christmas, and it's been cold enough for the snow to stick around a little bit, but it's almost all melted now. But we're supposed to get snow again this coming weekend. So, right now it's actually nice out. Number 4, do you drive? If so, have you crashed? Yes, I drive. I took driver's ed in high school. It was actually a required class in high school in Chicago, but I didn't actually get my license until I moved out to Colorado, so I was like 26 when I got my license the first time. And let's see, I crashed once. I was in Boulder, Colorado. I had to go to Boulder. We had a big flood in Fort Collins, and I had to go to Boulder to do research for my paper for, I was in grad school at the time. And our entire journal library at our university got completely flooded out with the flood that we had in '97. So unfortunately, I'd have to drive to Boulder to do my research. And I was driving back from there when this gal crashed into me. I was bumper to bumper traffic, and she hit me, she hit the rear of my car, and thankfully I was driving a big behemoth of a minivan at the time, and she had a little tiny car, and her car just got completely totaled, and mine only had a couple of scratches and needed a new bumper, and that was it. So that wasn't too bad. It wasn't my fault, obviously. The next crash was in California. I was in a rental car, and California people drive just absolutely insane. Totally not used to driving out there. I only went about 5 or 6 times a year. And this time I happened to be I was going the speed limit, which I believe was 50 miles an hour on the road that I was on. And I had enough room between me and the car in front of me, but then 2 cars merged into that space that I had because they were trying to make a right turn up ahead. And we had other traffic coming off of the interstate merging with us coming from the right. So these guys merge right in front of me, and I take my foot off the gas to give myself room again, but at that very same moment, 4 or 5 cars up ahead, there was a crash. And there was this basically chain reaction. Everyone had to stop suddenly, and I just didn't have enough room to stop because these guys had come in there. So while I hit the guy in front of me, it wasn't entirely my fault, but and those are the only 2 crashes I've had so far, so I've been very lucky. And I try very hard to be a careful driver, and I try to pay attention. I don't talk on my phone, I don't text, etc. So anyway, on to the next question. Question 5. What time did you wake up this morning? This morning I woke up at 9. I try to get up between 9 and 10 in the morning so I have enough time to go to the gym before I start working with my projects for the day. Number 6. When was the last time you showered? Trick question. I took a bath yesterday. I don't shower a lot in the winter. Growing up, we didn't have a shower at home, so I'm more of a bath person anyway. And I really don't like showers in the winter because I'm always cold. And so, I don't know, I just find taking showers to be more, I feel more cold taking a shower in the winter. So, I tend to take baths at night before going to bed instead of showers during the day in the winter. So, it's been a few weeks since I've had an actual shower. But I bathed frequently. Alright, so, number 7. What was the last movie you saw? The last movie I saw was Atlas Shrugged Part 2, which probably a lot of you haven't even heard of. It's based on the Ayn Rand novel, or Ayn Rand novel, I forget how to pronounce her name. And I don't know, I really have been enjoying those movies. And I do want to go see The Hobbit. I keep meaning to go see The Hobbit. I just haven't had time to go. I had to work last weekend, and the weekend before we were busy, and we just haven't had time to go see it. So I'm hoping to go see it while it's still in theaters. So, but yes, Atlas Shrugged Part 2 was the last movie I saw. Number 8. What does your last text message say? Alright, let me go look that up real quick. Messages. I don't text message a lot. So let's see, the last text message was from my housekeeper last Friday, and she basically said, I'm dropping off Layla, I'll be there in a minute. So she was running a little late and letting me know why she was running late. So that was my last text message. Like I said, I don't text a lot. Usually if I'm texting, I'm usually at a sci-fi conference with my friends, and we're trying to coordinate and like, you know, hey, I'm over in the dealer's room, where are you at? And that kind of thing. So, and mainly because it's very loud and noisy in these places, and so it's easier to coordinate through text message than to call and talk. So I don't tend to be a big texter, but you know, I am over 40, so we don't tend to get as much into the whole texting thing as you younger folks do. So anyway, let's get back to the questions. Alright, number 9, what's your ringtone? Just the default T-Mobile one that my phone came with, because I usually don't have the ringtone on at all. I just have it on vibrate, and if I do have it on, it's just the default one, because, I don't know. I don't talk on the phone that much, and I don't get called that much, so, I don't know. I just don't get into ringtones. Number 10, have you been to a different country? Yes. When I was a kid, let's see, when I was 4, my grandmother and I went to the Vancouver area of Canada, to a town called Coquitlam. An old friend of hers from Europe was living there, and we went to stay with him for a few months and just visiting, catching up. And I actually got to go to kindergarten there while we were staying there, because we were there for like 9 months, even though we did come back for Christmas and then go back again. But yeah, I got to be in the Coquitlam area for a long time when I was about 4. And then at 6, I got to go to Germany. My grandmother hadn't seen her brothers and sisters for almost 40 years at this point. They'd moved, she and her husband had moved out of Germany to Belgium and then eventually to the U.S. They'd moved out of Belgium in the 40s, moved to the U.S. in the 50s, and she just hadn't seen them. So it had been high time for her to go visit her family again. So I got to go with, and then we got to go 2 other times when I was 10 and when I was 12 to Germany. And then, let's see, in 99 I got to go to England to visit a guy that I was dating at the time. Long distance relationship, only lasted a year, but I did get to spend Christmas and New Year's 99-2000, which was kind of fun. And I've also dated a guy from the Netherlands, so I went to visit. I've been to the Netherlands, and since then, with my current husband, let's see, I've been to Germany in 2001. With my husband, we went back to Germany to visit my family in 2007. We've been to Puerto Rico. We've been to Belize. He's been to Costa Rica, but he still wants me to go to Costa Rica with him, but we haven't had a chance to go there yet. So yeah, I've done, oh, and our trip into Germany in 2007, we also drove through 7 countries to get to Monte Carlo, which was a lot of fun. We had a rental car, we had a GPS system, and we drove through, I think, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Italy, France, and then of course Monte Carlo or Monaco. So yeah, seven countries altogether from Germany to Monaco. So that was a really fun trip. All right. Number 11. Do you like sushi? I love sushi. I know some people think it's yucky because it's raw, and actually not all sushi is raw though. Sushi is, it could be fish, it could be egg, it could be eel, which isn't really is it a fish? I'm not sure if eel is a fish. Maybe it is. But it can be a number of different things on top of rice with seaweed. The only one that actually I think is always raw is sashimi, or at least sashimi is always fish. Like the egg sushi isn't, well, it's not fish or raw. It's cooked egg that they put on top of rice with seaweed. So sushi isn't always raw food, where sashimi is. And because of my low-carb diet, I tend to eat the sashimi more often now than the sushi. I try to avoid the rice most of the time. I still eat rice once in a while, but I try not to eat as much of it as I used to. But anyway, yes, I love sushi. Number 12, where do you buy your groceries? I have 3 places that I buy groceries from. I tend to go and get a lot of my non-perishables from the Target Superstore because they've got really good prices. I tend to get my produce at King Soopers, which is a grocery store that we have right down the street from us. It's a Kroger brand supermarket. And then for some of the high-end things, especially some of like my sweeteners that I use and things like that, I tend to go shopping at Whole Foods. So, and I love sometimes getting some of my produce at Whole Foods as well because they have some more exotic fruits and veggies there. They have really beautiful cuts of meat in their butchery department and things. Although we will get steaks and fillets for grilling in the summertime at King Soopers as well. So, but yeah, we shop at Whole Foods, King Soopers, or Target for groceries.